Herd Hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
Listen, Jacksonville, don't be offended. There are really right now about 12 teams in the NFL that can play. The Jags have 14 takeaways over their last 5 games. That's as many or more than 9 teams all season long. Defensively, only Minnesota to me has a better roster. The Jags are 7-0 and Blake Bortles doesn't throw a pick. It's a very conservative offense. I think eventually he's going to have to make plays in the playoffs or they don't win, and that's why I don't see them going that far. That defense, though, is the real deal. Jacksonville 10.
Number 9.
Carolina, give their coaches credit. They have built an offense in the last year to take the ball out of the hands of Cam. It's all about running. Last 6 games, they're averaging 180 yards rushing. That's why they're playing good football. They need Cam to make 1 or 2 big throws, 1 or 2 big runs. He threw for 135 yards Sunday, and they beat a really good team. This is about coaching and figuring out the best way to use Cam, and the best way to use him is don't lean on him heavily, lean on him lightly and run the football, and boy, they're doing that. Good for them.
Number 8.
Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, you're not the same team. You lost the MVP of the league, arguably. Here's the other thing I've noticed from Philadelphia over the last 3 games. They've gotten sloppy. They're the most penalized team in the NFL over the last 3 weeks, 28 penalties. That was with Carson Wentz. They've got 6 giveaways over their last 3 games. They're not as good at left tackle. They're not as good at linebacker. And now a massive drop-off at quarterback. Listen, it's still a good roster. They're going to win this division. They'll host a playoff game. But I think it's a different team this morning. I've got them at 8.
Number 7.
Seattle, if they played Philadelphia, I'd take Seattle. I get Pete Carroll, and I get Russell Wilson. My concern is Russell Wilson accounts for 82% of his team's offense. Now, that's brutal. That's too reliant. The good news is he's thrown 17 fourth-quarter touchdown passes. That's an NFL record, and we still got a month to go. Russell Wilson, I've been saying it for years, is the most overlooked star in this league. It is remarkable what he does with an average offensive line, no running game, and so-so receivers.
Number 6.
I got the Rams at 6. I think they'll beat Seattle this weekend. Todd Gurley's the story here as much as Jared Goff and Sean McVay. Gurley's second in the league at 126 yards per game, leads the NFL with 13 touchdowns. He's a terrific receiver. I know we love McVay. I know we love Goff. Todd Gurley is a huge component to this offense. When he struggled in portions in this game, they couldn't move the chains. Early and late, when they did, he was a component to it.
Number 5.
New Orleans Saints. Thursday was their first game without a 100-yard rusher since week 4. And right now, this is a run-first team. They are 9-0 when they run the ball just 22 times. 0-4 when they don't. So when they can get ahead or be close and run the football, I'm not sure there's a better team in the league. Now, when they get behind, have to throw more, it's not that Saints team with Drew Brees. I got them at 5.
Number 4.
LA Chargers. I called it a month ago. I said they're going to win this division, and you don't want to play them if you're Pittsburgh, and you don't want to play them if you're New England. Phillip Rivers has Keenan Allen, 2 running backs, Melvin Gordon, one of them, completing 69% of his passes in the last month, 8 TDs, no pick, and about 10 yards a pass. They can go over the top with Keenan Allen. They can go underneath. They can run the football. It's a really underrated offensive line. Phillip Rivers, right now, by the way, their defense, since week 5, they're 7-2, allowing the second lowest passer rating and lead the NFL since then in picks. I don't see a weakness. They're okay special teams. Outside of that, offense, defense, this is a loaded roster.
Number 3.
Minnesota Vikings. I don't care if they lost to Carolina. It was their 3rd straight road game. That's kind of an outlier. You don't get many of those in the NFL. And it was the first bad game for Case Keenum. Their receivers dropped 2 touchdown passes. They played really lousy football, and they still made it really close against a really good Carolina team. Listen, they don't allow 200 yards rushing, and they did Sunday for the first time since week 1. They'll bounce back. My guess is they sweep their next 3.
Number 2.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Over their 8-game winning streak, Big Ben, rebirth. Ryan Shazier's loss, to me, is the only reason I can't put him number one. You watched that game against Baltimore, and you were thinking what I was thinking. Good God, if Baltimore drops 38, what's New England going to do? Because my number one team,
number one,
they were missing 6 starters. They're still favored over Pittsburgh. Nobody else would be going in the NFL to Pittsburgh and be favored. Listen, they couldn't run the ball. They had multiple starters out. Gronk was out. He returns. Listen, it was the first time they allowed 20 points since week 4, and that was their last loss. This is a really good football team that has maybe the most underrated pair of running backs in Rex Burkhead and Dion Lewis in the NFL. Today, still the best coach, still the best quarterback. To me, still the best team in the NFL. Hi, everybody, and thanks for watching. We want you to subscribe here, to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the herd, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.